Oh, hello. Good time to be alive, right? I mean, the world is still here and all of us are here with it, but that doesn't exactly mean that humanity always will be here. Belief in the end of the world is almost as old as stories about the creation of the world, with some doomsday predictions dating back to approximately 2800 BC, claiming signs of the end times were near even then. In modern day, people have made predictions on the date of Earth's demise as well, such as the Y2K scare of 1999. And of course, who could forget the 2012 Mayan calendar prediction? All of these predictions have, of course, failed, but it's gotta make you wonder, how is the world going to end? And is it going to be much scarier than we realize? Although predictions and claims of the end can be found in many sources, some of the oldest and most famous ones in the West come to us from religion. In fact, the word apocalypse, which many of us associate with the end of the world, comes from the Greek word apocalypsis, meaning revelation, just like the book of Revelations in the Bible, which is said to hold an account on how the world will come to its end. Like Christianity, many other religions also claim that they know the truth about the end times. One of the more famous failed prophecies came from the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, the worldwide organization of the Religion of Jehovah's Witnesses. In 1966, the organization published the book Life Everlasting in Freedom of the Sons of God, in which they predicted that the world would end in 1975. They believed this marked the beginning of Christ's millennial reign, although the society would later state that the world would definitively end in 1975, but that the chance of an apocalyptic event was a probability. The theory, according to the doctrine, stated that in the fall of 1975, the first 6,000 years of human existence would come to an end. And from when the prophecy was first published by the Watchtower in 1966 all the way until 1975, it became the main recurring topic of the society's literature. Outside of religious literature, the end of the world has inspired secular works to create their own version of the end times, as well as what may happen after society as we know it crumbles. And while most of these are for entertainment alone and not meant to make any realistic claims on the destruction of mankind, they have had a strong pull on society and culture, from War of the Worlds to The Walking Dead. So why are we so interested in our own demise, and why are there so many theories as to how it's going to happen? Our morbid fascination with our own termination may not always be us as a society longing for the conclusion of a story, but rather a new chapter. In his book Apocalypse Theory and the End of the World, author Malcolm Bull argues that most apocalypse stories and theories are often visions of renewal, one that shatters the corrupt present and brings in a new redemptive future, a chance to start over or move past the ruined present. And although zombies do not completely spell out the end of the planet, this popular myth in mainstream media indicates dealing with the end of modern society as we know it has recently come back into prominence in popular culture. Zombies themselves are not a new phenomenon. They actually have deep roots in voodoo mythology, as well as being a popular end of humanity story for decades, spanning back to Victor Halperin's White Zombie film in 1932. However, zombies and other apocalyptic theories have been shown to make booms in the media whenever there is a rise in economic difficulty, supporting the theory from before that we become more and more interested in how Earth and those who inhabit it will die as times become tougher. Despite our love for the undead-related endings, what scientists believe will happen is pretty scary itself. In October of this year, scientists using NASA's Kepler Space Telescope uncovered evidence of a tiny rock object being torn apart as it spiraled around a white dwarf star. The discovery found during the K2 mission validates a long-held theory that dwarf stars have the power of cannibalizing remnant planets within its solar system, meaning that the star can rip apart a planet with its intense gravitational pull and vaporize and absorb it. To make matters more terrifying, scientists believe they know exactly which yellow dwarf star will be the one to vaporize Earth, our sun. When stars like our sun age, they puff up into red giants that gradually lose their mass, shrinking down to about 1/100th of their original size. When commenting on the phenomenon from the K2 mission, Andrew Vanderburg of the Harvard-Smithsonian Center of Astrophysics said, "This is something no human has seen before. We are watching a solar system get destroyed." So when would something like this happen to our sun? Unfortunately, unlike predictors of the past, NASA says that there is more observation to be done to better understand the phenomenon, so no doomsday date has been set yet. Scientists do estimate, however, that the sun will most likely change substantially in around 5 billion years, where it will begin a helium-burning process, turning into a red giant and consuming Mercury, Venus, and then Earth with its sheer size alone. Thankfully, whatever date that may happen on, we won't be around to witness it. If we're to believe that nothing lasts forever, we also have to apply that to the life of our planet. But what if we, as the inhabitants, are the cause? Perhaps, according to some, this is the most likely way that the world will end, not by the hand of an all-powerful God or the forces of the cosmos. One such scientist, Professor Frank Fenner, predicts that our time remaining on Earth is short, as in 100 years short. Fenner, whose work helped wipe out smallpox, believes that humans who are born today will potentially be the last generation, witnessing the end of approximately over 6 billion people in their lifetime. He believes that climate change, as well as exponential population growth, will cause our species to become extinct, and that this extinction at this point in time is completely irreversible. With more and more people fighting for fewer and fewer resources to sustain population growth, Fenner believes it is only a matter of time until we have no resources left to sustain human life as we know it. And why wouldn't any of this happen? In the last 500 million years, life on Earth has been nearly wiped out approximately 5 times by things such as climate change and meteors. These, known as the Big Five mass extinctions, show that what may happen to us is really nothing new. And it seems that according to other researchers, our chances of extinction are only increasing. We may have survived natural disasters and cosmic catastrophes for as long as man has existed, but we've only been living with nuclear weapons for a few decades. Just goes to show that one of the biggest possible threats to our planet is the human mind. Even if rapid population growth or climate change doesn't get us, perhaps our own advancement will. Apart from us creating technologically advanced weapons that could wipe out large populations at a time, such as nuclear weapons, some experts believe we are creating more and more ways for things to go wrong. One of these experts being theoretical physicist Stephen Hawking, who believes one of the only ways we can escape this is by possibly abandoning Earth altogether and establishing colonies on other planets. But as we discussed in a previous episode of Question Everything, Where Are Aliens?, this possibility is far beyond our current reach, and even seriously attempting to pull off such a feat could trigger our own destruction, according to the Great Filter Theory, a theory that can suggest that civilization often destroys itself before becoming interstellar. We are very far off from traveling the galaxy, but more than capable of completely obliterating ourselves right now. Hawking himself acknowledges this, meaning that if Fenner is correct in his assumptions that we may only have about 100 years left on our planet, it may be that we are trapped with no way to escape our possible fate. Even if space travel isn't the trigger that tips the first domino, Stephen Hawking believes it is more likely that our advancement of artificial intelligence, as well as our dependence on it, will. Consider the leaps and bounds we have taken as a species with artificial intelligence. While even the most primitive forms of AI developed so far have already proven very useful, Hawking fears the consequences of creating something that can match or surpass humans. Combining booming population with the fact that more and more robots are being used to automate jobs to keep humanity functioning, perhaps the things we have created to make our lives easier as a species will inevitably be the thing that destroys us. Now's the time where I questioned you. On my Twitter, I asked, how do you think the world will end? Here's what you said. 28% of you voted a natural disaster or global warming related end. 17% of you said that a cosmic event will surely destroy us. 35% of you believe our own technology will do us in, and the remaining 20% of you said that it's going to be a religious event. Be sure to follow me on my Twitter @TheRobDyke to cast your vote in my weekly Question Everything poll. Special thanks to Loot Crate for sponsoring this episode. Did you know that Loot Crate now has a clothing line? It's called Level Up, and it's perfect for fulfilling all of your geek, gamer, and pop culture attire desires. Every month, Loot Crate will send you brand new, totally original clothing to wear that will get people talking, all for less than $20 a month. The clothes they send you are guaranteed to be worth way more than what you actually pay, so it's a total win for you. All you need to do is go to lootcrate.com/Rob2 to get 10% off your first order. Each month has a new theme, and this month's theme is Dead. Pretty appropriate for this episode if you ask me. So you're going to be getting amazing Deadpool and Walking Dead related clothing. But you need to order before 9 p.m. Pacific time on the 19th of every month to get yours before it's gone forever. So if you want their Dead theme, hurry up and head to lootcrate.com/Rob2 to get 10% off amazing Level Up clothing. Thanks for listening. And don't forget to check out my Where Are Aliens episode that we talked briefly about in this episode. You can either click on screen now or go into the description below and there's a link down there for you. Thank you again. So how do you think it's all going to end? Be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments section below. And of course, if you want to learn anything, you have to question everything. And if the world stays around for another week or so, I'll be sure to see you next Friday.